two, one.
One.
Was that in sync for you?
Yeah.
Woo! Okay. Hello, and welcome back to Zillennial Support Group. I'm Silvana.
And I'm Marriya.
And I'm very excited about today's episode. This is the show where we reminisce about childhood memories and cultural moments. And today we're talking about the monumental franchise that is High School Musical. You might be able to tell that behind Marriya, if you're watching this, there is in fact a High School Musical concert poster. Is that what it is?
It's just a regular High School Musical poster. This is the second one. This is actually my sister's room, and then we have another copy of the same poster in my room.
Wow. Were you like a big fan back in the day?
I was a huge High School Musical fan of High School Musical and Vanessa Ann Hudgens, because I know her as
icon.
I don't know who else knows her as having the Ann in the middle, but that's the only way I can remember her.
It could be like a Mandela effect of like people not remembering.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like just at the age where I was like, oh, this is something I should make fun of people for. I had like just gotten old enough to be like, ooh, sometimes Disney's lame. But I was still like into it. And I remember watching it, like the first movie when it premiered on TV too, because there was so much hype.
Did you watch the other ones when they premiered?
I definitely watched the second one. That was a big premiere. Mm-hmm. And then I never saw the third one in theaters. I think I was like way too old for that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought it was fun, and I think I was just like, I saw people get like really involved and have like crushes on Zac Efron, and then I was like, Zac Efron's not my type.
I never found Zac Efron like the dream boy. I think my mom did.
He's kind of just like average white boy. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think my mom did, because I had a High School Musical birthday party. And she suggested that we play Pin the Kiss on Troy Bolton.
Yeah, I appreciated him once he did like that movie 17 again, because I think he like
just watching
hit puberty a bit harder.
Like
and that was a pretty good movie too. I like Matthew Perry, and that movie was a fun movie. But yeah, in High School Musical, I wasn't a fan of like that like swoopy hair thing that all the guys had back in the day. And I definitely could tell that it was something cheesy, but I like sometimes you like watching cheesy stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that was back in the day of our, Zillennial childhood. I feel like we were right in that age group where it was like such a big deal for us. Yeah. But the kids of today, what they have is something called High School Musical, the series. That is the entire title of the Disney Plus TV show.
What a lazy title.
Yeah, it kind of took the world by storm a little bit. I think it came out right before, like a few months before the pandemic. And then like Disney Plus was a huge thing in the beginning of the pandemic that people got really invested. So yeah, the stars of that show were like kind of hitting it big, kind of becoming the teeny boppers of today. And what really, it's been a year since the beginning of the pandemic, but what really brought the show to the forefront of like the cultural mindset is that all like the two main leads of the show have launched music careers, like Disney loves to do with all their actors. And I think Sabrina Carpenter is also a Disney person. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But basically, the world has been forever changed ever since Olivia Rodrigo released a single called Driver's License about her co-star on the show and their breakup. And there's only been one season of the show. It was a huge hit for the platform. And I don't know if they filmed the second season or they're currently filming it, but the second season is premiering May 14th. So they still work together. And because the show's popular, they'll probably still work together a lot in the future as well. I guess it's like the perfect opportunity to like write songs about how you hate them now in the media and then just go back to work and act civil and like see his new girlfriend all the time. But I guess they did have like a long break from the pandemic. But so basically if anyone doesn't know what's been going on, which I'm surprised if anybody hasn't been paying attention to, Olivia Rodrigo's blossoming music career is that she released a single all about her breakup with this guy. His name's Joshua Bassett. He's like the least important character in this whole love triangle. But basically, he broke up with her and then started dating this girl named Sabrina Carpenter. And then after Olivia Rodrigo's single blew up, became super, it was a great song, but after it blew up and became super famous, Sabrina released her own single because she has her own music career, talking about how, oh, you're just jealous because I have him now. And like, people were like, why is this 21-year-old, 22-year-old girl fighting this 18-year-old girl about their boyfriends?
That was the great thing about, I think, the Dylan and Cole Sprouse is they couldn't at anyone with their music because they didn't have anything.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're all releasing songs about each other. Joshua also has, I think he's released music. I think Olivia Rodrigo also wrote some of the music off his EP or album or whatever he's released. So they're all just singing songs about each other and just releasing it to the public for them to enjoy the downfall and the drama of all their relationships. And I can imagine the cultural moment it's having on like the kids of today and how like in 10 years they'll be making podcasts about how they're reminiscing about the days where they would watch High School Musical, the series. So a little bit backstory about this, like half reboot, remake, half, sequel to High School Musical. In the world of this series, High School Musical exists as a Disney Channel TV show. That's fake. Like Vanessa Ann Hudgens is a real person in their universe. There's no real Gabrielle Montez. But these kids go to school in the high school where the movie was filmed, in East High School, I think it's called, in Nevada or Arizona, one of those desert states. And their drama teacher was like a background dancer or someone who was in the movie. And so the drama teacher decides to put on High School Musical, the movie, as a musical for their high school. So they're not putting on the fictitious musical from the movie. They're putting on the movie in musical form as the musical for the high school.
Because no one knows what the hell Twinkletown was.
Right? So the premise of the show is just following around these students as they put on this musical. And so it's a TV show. It's a mockumentary style TV show documenting these kids putting on this musical. So not only is it a ton of high schools and musicals just happening, but it's also like an Office mockumentary style TV show. Just like adds something else to the mix. So I've never seen it. I don't think you've seen it. But it's not something I was ever interested in, and I don't really watch high school shows anymore. But just like listening to all these, songs on the radio and Wikipediaing this TV series, I'm like, this sounds like a really good show. Yeah. And I'm kind of invested now. I kind of want to see, could I see their, chemistry, any sexual tension, subtext of their real life relationship on their on-screen relationship.
That's funny because your description did not make me feel like it was a good show.
Really?
I didn't know you were trying to sell it to me.
I don't know if I'm trying to sell it, but the chaos of it intrigues me so deeply. But yeah, I feel like every generation loves to see that, like that iconic show or movie where it has that, like, I don't want to use iconic all the time, but this iconic couple that everybody knows about, and then having it also be an off-screen couple. Like, great marketing. A lot of people have also said, like, these kids are all just chill with each other, but they're making up all this drama about their relationships in order to sell records and to boost all three of their music careers. Because they're, smaller artists, not really well known, but now there's all this buzz about each one of their careers. So
well, I
if
think
it's
that's
authentic or not, it's, good marketing
yeah.
angle.
Well, I'm like wondering now, like, do you think that there are couples that like we followed in Hollywood that were definitely like not real and they were just constructed by their agents and marketing teams?
See, I hear so many rumors about couples that are like, you wouldn't expect this couple to like have been fake or arranged or some contract, but it's like it is fake. And I've heard rumors about contracts concerning like Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, but I've also heard rumors about like that Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens were fake and they just did it for the movie, and same with Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. But then you interview these actors years later and they're like, no, I was in that relationship for like 3-4 years and it was like a huge impact on my on my life. It wasn't for a marketing thing. I think sometimes also just like when you're working in that kind of intense environment and you're spending like 20 out of 24 hours a day with this person, and they're all actors and actresses, so they're all beautiful people. Like, of course there's gonna like, a few people are going to get on really well and maybe fall in love, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of a situation. You know what I have heard though,
Hmm.
a sort of adjacent to Disney. I heard that Nick Jonas's marriage, full on married, his marriage to Priyanka Chopra was arranged. Like they did it as
Oh.
like to benefit both their careers. And I guess they're both, have gotten more successful over the years, but I'm like, I can understand like going on a few dates, getting a few paparazzi photos to like promote a project. But it's the rumor is that they weren't even promoting certain projects, just like buzz around their relationship just to help their careers in general. And they got married, and I'm like, going so far as to marry a person for PR purposes, like that sounds like a reach.
Yeah.
But I've heard that from like a few places. So
That's my plan though. I don't want to marry for love. I want to marry for PR reasons. That's actually my
yeah.
bio on Tinder.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Wow. Are you trying to anything you're trying to Oh, is it for the podcast? Are you trying to promote the podcast?
Yeah.
That's why you're entering these
Millennial
fake
Support Group
relationships.
podcast.
Wow. I mean, that's dedication.
It's
Who
all
could
for the
ask
brand.
for
Yeah.
a better host,
Yeah.
Everybody comment below. Thanks, Marriya, for selling your soul. Yeah, also, I know my background keeps changing every episode, but I feel so old. My shoulder's been hurting the past week or so. So I was like, I think I need something to like lean against while I'm doing this episode. Because last time I had no backing and my back completely fell apart. I feel old. I
No, I
feel
feel old
like
too.
I'm channeling my millennial elders and just like my body's decomposing.
Well, I have like it almost is like a backpack. I was gonna wear it because I like just took it off, but I took it off for the episode because I care. Um, but like it's basically like a backpack and it has like I don't even know if it's like a metal bar or like a plastic bar or something in the back to like, and it basically tugs on my shoulders so
Oh
that my
yeah.
like posture is better and my back doesn't hurt. But
Ooh. Sometimes I like cuz there's a lot of cheap things like that you can buy on Amazon, and sometimes I hear that it just does nothing, and then sometimes I'll see like before and after photos and I'm like, fuck, man. Those seem to really work, and I slouch so much,
I
and
don't
it
know
does
if
hurt
it
my back.
works, but it's just like it's nice to have just a reassuring little bar in the back.
Yeah. Speaking about old people or young people getting older, um it's very interesting because like, Olivia, Joshua, Sabrina, they're all like pretty young right now, like 18 to 20, 21 or whatever. And I remember, when High School Musical came out, I think they were still all pretty much teens, like 17, 18. And I think did the first one come out in 2007, 8, 9,
It was
5,
definitely
6,
before
10,
2006. I want to say it's like almost 2005 or
2005?
2006,
Yeah, I remember we're probably like fourth grade,
something like that.
fifth grade. But it was definitely like, these people looked so old to me. There were a few actors, I think. I forget her name, but the like nerdy best friend. I think she was like 29 in
Yeah.
High School Musical. Um, and then I forget if the other actors were older, but I don't know. It's the thing where it's like you're a kid and you see these like teen movies and you're like, oh my God, they're so old. I wonder what I'll be like when I'm that big. And now that I'm like past high school age, I'm like, everyone's a baby. Look at all these children. Ooh, but a little fun fact of correlation between Olivia Rodrigo and Vanessa Ann Hudgens. So they sort of play the same Gabrielle
Thank you for
character.
saying Vanessa Ann Hudgens. I really
Of
appreciate
course.
that.
So Olivia plays a character in her show called Nini, I think. I thought it was Nina, but I think it's Nini. And then her character gets cast as Gabriella in the show. But Vanessa Hudgens, I'm pretty sure, is half Filipino, and so is Olivia Rodrigo.
Wow.
So they're very similar. All these cuties. And then Vanessa also dated her Troy Bolton, and so did Olivia Rodrigo. Because Joshua, whatever his face is, he plays Troy Bolton, and
Has
whatever character plays that.
has Olivia Rodrigo made any statements about how everyone should just die from COVID? Yeah.
No.
I know that whole speech like
Oh my
by
God.
heart.
Vanessa. She fucked up.
Yeah. I
Wow.
mean,
Talk about your
yeah.
childhood heroes letting you down.
I mean, yeah, people are gonna die, and that's terrible, but kind of inevitable.
Inevitable? Oh my God. Sweetie. No. She's just like, let the people die. Like, oh my God.
And then she even says,
I can't.
maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. And I'm just like, if you're a bad person, I'd rather you just tell me
Mm-hmm.
you're a bad person instead of saving face for the public arena. But damn. Yeah. I don't know if that's something I don't know if Olivia Rodrigo would condone mass medical death the way Vanessa has, but yeah, man.
And then she came out to say that her comments were taken out of context.
Out of context. But also, it's not like she was bombarded with paparazzi or something. She like willingly chose to go on her Instagram live and say things on purpose. No one asked her to speak.
Well, yeah, because I think she was responding to something about like music festivals being canceled, and she's like,
Oh yeah, she's a big
yeah,
Coachella girl,
yeah,
and I
and
think
she's like,
Coachella got
yeah,
postponed.
until July sounds like total bullshit. Like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
It's a virus. I respect it.
I respect it. Oh my God. But yeah, I think it probably was around the time where California, like in April, had just announced that they were locking down until July or something like that. And I remember being in that phase, that like April, May phase where I'm like, oh, like by the end of summer, it'll have cleared up. Like people will follow the rules. Um, and so I can understand her being like, oh, like I don't think it'll last that long. Like things would get better. But she didn't think things would get better. She just thought like enough people would die that it would be over with. She's like, we just have to, it just needs to happen so that we can move on.
Yeah, everyone's just gonna get it, which ended up kind of being the policy, I feel like.
Right?
For
She
America.
set such a terrible precedent. I hate how the US government was like, you know what? The CDC is saying all this stuff, like all these other national, international medical experts are giving us advice. I think that's bullshit. I think we're going to set our national policy according to Vanessa Ann Hudgens. We need to make sure she goes to Coachella.
Don't
And then they
listen to
fucked
the
up.
CDC.
And then,
Listen
right?
to the VAH.
Right. And then no one got happy. Everyone died. And Vanessa still hasn't been able to get to Coachella. So, yeah.
But she
played her cards wrong. Yeah. I love your ponytail today, by the way.
Thank you.
It's very powerful.
I don't know if grew my own extensions.
Ooh. I don't know if that's a standard that Ariana Grande set of like a ponytail being a symbol of female empowerment. But
well,
I mean,
wasn't
you
it
look
that
powerful.
her hair was fried after Victorious?
Yeah. I think it was a thing where she has like short hair because she had to like cut off all the damage. And so instead of like trying to blend in really short hair with really long extensions, if it's easier to just like attach a fake ponytail than to like putting clip-ins all the time.
Yeah.
But it's really, I mean, those things look heavy, and she talks about it all the time because it hurts your hair and it pulls on your hair follicles for like hours on end. And she's, dancing and performing like that, which I would imagine only adds to the breakage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she also has like curly hair, so I think it's better than like straightening your hair all the time into this long ponytail.
Yeah.
But yours is all natural, man.
All,
You grew
all
it all
mine.
yourself.
Yeah. I don't think I've cut my hair since like last January.
Oh wow. Yeah. I think I had like a January I remember actually my haircut I had before quarantine. Um I had an aunt from Bolivia visiting, and she was like, and I like didn't want a real haircut. I wanted to like continue growing out my hair, but I had split ends. And so I was like, oh, can you just like cut just a straight cut, just cut my ends off? She was like, okay, but we have to wait till the moon is like waxing instead of waning, because we need to wait until the right moon phase to cut your hair, else it won't grow. And I was like, okay. So I think we cut it during a certain moon phase in January. And
Wait,
then
so
I
did
haven't
it
had it cut
grow?
since. It did grow. It
Okay,
actually,
so you picked the right moon phase.
yeah, it actually, like, I'd cut it to here, and the last time I cut it, ooh, did I fuck up the sound? And then it's grown quite a bit, but I do want to cut it short in the next few months. Although I'm really into my hair today.
Yeah, you
Um,
re-dyed it.
yeah, and then I straightened it too, so it looks a bit sleeker. But I really just want to like appreciate like the long black hair, and then cut it short and then bleach it. So I want the best of both worlds. But you said you wanted to donate it, your hair.
Yeah, yeah.
How many inches are you looking to donate?
I think like the minimum is like 8 inches.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know.
How short would you go?
I don't know. Like that's the thing is like I might have to wait for like because I think I'm like 2 inches or something short because I would want it to be like down here and I think I only have like 6 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I think you look cute with short hair though, with
thank
like a
you.
cute little bob.
I just like need to be able to do a ponytail because it's so thick.
That's true, yeah. It is a hassle when I've had my hair super short to like try and put it in a ponytail, and then like I look really bad with like a low pony. So it has to be big enough to do a high one. But I've always like liked growing my hair out really long and then cutting it really short, cuz I like long hair, I like really short hair, but I'm not a fan of like the mid length, and I
Mm.
like the drama of it, cutting a ton of your hair off. But I've always messed around with my hair and like dyed it and uh like ombre it and stuff. And so I've looked into donating my hair before numerous times, and they're all like, we don't want your damaged like chemical dyed hair that's not safe to put on like a sick person. So they're like, we don't want your hair, no one wants your hair. And
Yeah, I have
so
virgin hair.
yeah, it's sad that I can't like it can't go to use. But so segueing into a little fun fact section of our podcast, Marriya is actually pretty well versed in the franchise, not only from her personal experiences, but she also professionally published an article about a lot of unknown facts about the franchise. I actually read the article and I was like, I know a lot about High School Musical. I grew up, in that era, and I didn't know shit about it. They were
Yeah.
really interesting. I really hadn't heard any of these. So,
Yeah.
do you have any favorites you'd like to share?
Sure. I think first, so the High School Musical script started out as like a thing for Grease 3, where
Yeah.
it was going to be like the kids of Danny and Sandy, and it was going to have Britney Spears and
Oh my
Justin
god.
Timberlake.
Yeah, TBT.
But then they like didn't have the rights to Grease, and they're
Yeah.
like, okay, we don't know what to do, so
Yeah.
let's
And
just
then
shelve it for like 10 years.
yeah, Justin Timberlake kind of burned that bridge with Britney Spears.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And then they brought it back, and they're like, we still don't have the rights to Grease, and so they decided to scrap it and
wow.
change it to High School Musical. which wasn't actually supposed to be the title. They were just calling it High School Musical, and then they're
That's
like,
hilarious.
shit, we don't know what to do.
Yeah, people think it's just like so iconic, such a simple name. It's just lazy. They just didn't
Yeah.
want to find a better title.
Um,
But yeah, that was actually something I remember watching the premiere with like my dad in the room or something. And he was like, "Oh, this is just a Grease remake." And I'm like, "No, maybe it's just similar. Like maybe it's just inspired." No, it was actually supposed to be a Grease
yeah.
sequel.
He read the industry news. He was
Right?
well versed.
Had his finger on the pulse.
He was in the negotiations.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me see what else. Oh yeah, so there's the famous thing that Zac Efron didn't really sing for the first
Hmm.
movie, and he claims that he doesn't know why, but the producers have said that they wanted a tenor, and his voice was
Oh,
just
yeah.
too low, and so then he was able to sing for the
Or he
other.
was 17 and hitting puberty. Who
Well
knows?
then, but then the other songs were like made for him,
Yeah,
and
they
so
wrote
he
in
was able to
his
sing later.
register.
But yeah, it was like Drew Seeley. Do you remember Drew Seeley from
I do.
Another Cinderella
Yeah,
Story?
he went on to do that. I think he was like surprisingly a bit older.
Yeah.
Like he was a bit too old for high school stuff, but he did it anyway. I loved that movie with
And he
Selena
also,
Gomez and the dancing. I
yeah,
loved it too much. Like, mm-mm.
and he wrote Get Your Head in the Game. So,
Wow.
and then he
Damn.
served as Troy Bolton on the High School Musical concert tour because
Yeah, I remember
Zac
he went on
Efron
tour.
was filming Hairspray at the time.
Wow. Yeah, I always thought it was just because Zac Efron just like wasn't talented enough to tour. And so I was like, oh, they needed the OG vocals to go on tour with them. But no, he just wasn't available.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Um,
I really shat on Zac Efron a bit when I was a kid. Because I was like, he's not as cute as people say, and he can't sing. Why is he this teenage heartthrob? And I remember I got like a belated birthday present from a family friend once, and they gave me like a blanket and a copy of the High School Musical DVD, and I was so offended. And I'm like, how young and fangirly do you think I am? I'm not a High School Musical stan.
I would have
But I
loved
was a
that.
fangirl. I was just like too punk at that age that I was like, this is too mainstream for me.
See, I had like
But
5 different High School Musical board games.
board
And I had,
games.
yeah. And I had
Wow.
video games. I had, I had everything. I loved High School Musical so much.
Do you still love it today? Do you rewatch it ever?
No.
It doesn't stand the test of time
I was
as
going to
entertainment.
rewatch it for today, and then I watched Legally
Yeah.
Blonde instead.
Yeah. But also, it's the kind of thing where it's like, I never really even made a point to rewatch those movies, but I've seen enough reruns on Disney Channel that I know everything that happens. It's
Yeah,
seared into my memory. I don't need to play it. I can just loop it in my head.
yeah.
I remember like catching those like cameos from Miley Cyrus at the
Oh
end of
my
the
God.
second movie.
Well, we had to
Those
vote
scenes.
on them.
Yeah,
We
we
got to
voted on
vote.
like his Chad's t-shirt at one point,
Hmm.
I think.
But then, the Miley Cyrus cameo was like a second, and that was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a letdown, but that was I like learned what a cameo means
Yeah.
because of that it's not like an actual guest starring place. It's just you just have a little cameo. You just pop in and you pop out.
But I think it was fun to imagine the stars all intertwining together because the only other time we got that was like the Disney Channel games. Do you remember the Disney Channel games?
Yeah. Crossovers were such a huge thing back then. But
Hmm.
I remember the games and like I'm like, "Oh my god, they're real people and they
But
like
it's
hang out."
obviously they all dated each other, so obviously they knew each
Yeah.
other. But there was just
Yeah. I mean, because these kids never really went to school. They were on set the whole time. So, like, their castmates and, like, all those actors of that generation, like, that was their high school experience of, like, friend groups and dating each other and, like, all the drama of, like, being a teenager. Like, that was their high
can't
school
relate.
experience. So true, right?
Yeah, apparently also Ashley Tisdale and Lucas Grabeel hated each other
Yeah.
because in the audition Ashley Tisdale started giving him notes on this is what you should do and this is what I'm gonna do, and he was like, fuck this bitch.
Oh my God. I get kind of a weird, I don't know what kind of vibe I get from him, but I don't know. I love Ashley Tisdale. I think she just had a baby, right?
Yeah,
I
and
think
Hillary
everyone
Duff.
just had a baby. Yeah, so many people are having babies. Alana Glazer is having a baby. Oh my God. I don't know. I think I read something else about him. Oh my God, he's in the show. Gabriel, what's his name?
Lucas Grabeel.
Lucas Gabriel?
Grabeel.
Graviel. He guest stars in the High School Musical, the series TV show. He plays a part in it.
I just don't understand. I don't know. I guess I just don't understand the show in general because it felt like it was more like adult um than usual Disney Channel shows, which
Yeah,
is
the High
probably
School
why it
Musical, the
wasn't
musical,
on
the
Disney
series.
Channel and it was on like
It's on Disney
Plus.
Plus. That's what is intriguing about it to me too, because it was like, I mean, something that's mockumentary style. It's going to be a bit more high level, script writing than
Yeah.
say what's. I'm trying to think of a current Disney show, Allie and something, AJ and
Oh
it's
my
not Allie and AJ.
that's
But those ones that had that actor that went on to play
Were
Jeffrey
you
Dahmer in
thinking
that movie,
Austin and Ally?
Austin and Allie.
That was like forever ago.
I don't know what the kids are watching these
It's
days.
like Liv
I
and
really
Maddie
don't.
and stuff now, and Girl Meets World.
Oh, Girl Meets World. I thought that got canceled too.
I don't
No,
know, but that's a Sabrina Carpenter one.
really?
Yeah,
Damn.
I think
Yeah,
she
I
might be
heard.
Girl.
No, isn't that Rowan?
I don't know. There are like multiple girls. I
Something.
don't know
There
who
are
is
multiple
meeting
girls.
the
Yeah,
world.
it's kind of. I haven't kept up with like the generational lines of like the new Disney stars now.
Yeah.
Like age generations aside, like just the different Disney generations of actors and TV shows. Like I know Debbie Ryan was like a later generation, but
Oh
kind
my
of the
god.
same
And she
age as some
made
of the other
Disney
actresses
history.
of earlier times. Yeah. Oh my
I
God.
went in the studio and I said, I want to make history. And that's what we did.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, she did though. They got married. Marriage, like, they grew up. But yeah, Sabrina Carpenter, I think she had a show on Disney. But who's like the it girls of Disney these days? Like I
I
feel like
think
they don't have
Dove
the same pull as
Cameron.
like Hilary Duff and like Raven Simone. Like those girls were everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dove Cameron
Dove
is big.
Cameron.
Sophia
Yeah, I've heard her
Carson.
name a few times. I don't know who Sophia Carson is though.
They're all on The Descendants.
Oh, The Descendants. I've heard that term before, but I don't know what the show's about, but I remember there was a movie called The Descendants
Is
starring
this
George
it?
Clooney
Oh,
and
that's
Shailene
not.
Woodley
No, it's
like
not
10
it.
years ago. And so my mind always goes to that and it's a completely different place. And then I just get very misled. So,
Okay. Yeah. No, but I just don't understand the High School, the musical, the series, because it felt like it was like for us, like for our generation who already
is
knew High
it
School Musical.
that might make more sense.
But
But I
then,
feel like high school kids are into like really high level TV these days.
yeah. But I just felt
So
like you
maybe they're
needed some
watching
kind of
themselves.
context before
Maybe they're
watching
trying
it.
to get that like ABC Family or sorry, Freeform. Really aged myself right then. That's that sort of age group where it's like kind of high school age,
Yeah.
whereas like most of Disney Channel is like elementary school, maybe middle school, but
But I felt like it was weird because it was like felt like it was relying on nostalgia for like the original High
mm,
School Musical, and I didn't know if, like I still don't know, like
yeah,
I
they're
would
kind of
wonder
walking a
if
line.
the people who watch the series actually watched the original films or if this is their very first like introduction to it.
Wow. I honestly like I think I saw one trailer for the show once and it didn't come across to me that it was a mockumentary series.
Yeah.
And I didn't the trailer wasn't long enough for me to like catch the tone of the show. So, but yeah, but doing all this research, I am intrigued to like go check it out now.
Hmm.
Um that
I
would
hope
be fun
that
if it was like a bit more grown up than like
I
the
hope
real
there's
High School
just a
Musical.
whole thing that's just Cheetah Girls, the musical, the series.
And so it's like because it was a Disney show, like I heard the title and I'm like, wow, Disney's like really stupid, like really low caliber stuff. But I think now that it's like mockumentary style, I think they were trying to be cheeky.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they did have like, I think the third High School Musical was called High School Musical the movie or something.
Yeah.
No,
I think it was just
I
High
think
School Musical 3.
something
Senior year? High School Musical
senior
senior
year,
year.
yeah. So they're
That
trying to play
also
off
didn't.
the like multiple titles,
Yeah.
but
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
it was every single high school show. Glee did this, the kissing booth,
Uh,
to all the boys. It's like they do this weird thing where no one seems to know where they're going to college until they graduate.
yeah, nah. Kids in real life have more shit figured out
Yeah,
by then.
it just sounds like every single person got on the wait list, but
Yeah.
still ended up at Harvard.
Yeah. And all these kids, I'm like, on like if you see teenagers at like in TV shows, they're never in class. They stay in the hallways for ages and they're always doing shit after school that isn't homework. Like, how are these kids like
That's a,
getting into these top schools? They don't do shit.
exactly. But that's a fun fact. That's a segue into a fun fact about High School Musical, is that it was filmed at the real East High School. I want to say it was like Salt Lake City or something.
It
In
is. It is Salt Lake City. That's where the TV show is set. Oh my god. Is
but
that a
they, I
desert? Is that a desert state? I can't remember. Maybe
think
it's
it's
too
like
too
Utah,
north.
right?
It's like mountains, right? Rocky
Um,
Mountains?
but
I have
they
no idea.
filmed while the school
Sierra.
was in session, and so they basically like, if
Oh
you,
yeah.
the fact that you see all of these shots of them running through the hallways, that's basically because that's the only place that they could film, because all of the classrooms were taken up with actual kids.
Wow, that's crazy. Cuz I was thinking like if they filmed it during the summer like that makes sense. But
Yeah,
they
I don't know
didn't.
why they didn't.
I think I read in your article they only filmed for like 28 days or something,
Yeah.
4 weeks, 5 weeks. Um that's insane. I guess it like wasn't that long of a movie. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
And I think they
But
recorded the soundtrack in like 5 days or something.
yeah. Yeah. They were just churning out those movies back in the day.
Mhm.
In my mind, I just have like distinct memories of Vanessa Ann Hudgens just like walking through empty hallways, singing her little teenage heart out, leaning against the wall so dramatically.
When
And
you
I'm like,
got to high
damn,
school,
that's what high school is going to be like.
when you got to high school, did you expect to see a bunch of posters of like gigantic posters of people on the football team?
Right? What kind of school has that kind of money? No, my school wasn't super intense like that sports wise. Although I think it used to be back in the day. I think
Mhm.
it used to be more of a sports school. But it also used to be a drama magnet school and then they just changed it to regular school. That's why our
Oh.
auditorium was so big. Yeah, I expected there to be more of like a culture at the school because in High School Musical, everybody was talking about all these things. I don't know. Like in real high school, just nobody gave a shit about anything.
Yeah.
And also, like after school activities weren't so huge.
Yeah.
Like
No, I
you like
mean,
did clubs to like get into college and then you just like went home and did homework because there was like mountains and mountains of homework and you woke up at 5:30 in the morning and you're tired, so you just want to go home.
that's so weird because we went to the same high school, and I feel like my experience was so different because,
Really?
yeah, so the locker to the left of mine, like a girl had painted
Hmm.
it pink and like taken over two lockers, and then
Really? Isn't
like
that illegal?
every single day at lunch, like I would just be sitting there quietly, and then people would start singing about like sticking to the status quo, and I was like, "Oh my God,
Wow.
mom, can you pick me up?" And
That's
but I mean,
crazy.
I was a theater kid, so
That's true. Like our high school theater kids, they had a lot of drama, but
yeah,
it was self-contained. All of the like different social groups were very self-contained. There wasn't this like high school musical like a battle royale between the like jocks versus nerds versus whatever. Like nobody really people just like hung out with who, they hung out with and then that was it. They didn't really care.
where the
But
jocks just used they maintained their relationships so that they could cheat off of everyone else.
yeah. I do remember like having friends in the theater department and they would tell me all this drama, and I'm like, that's so crazy. No one else is that dramatic. But that was just like the way they lived.
Yeah, I mean, I think I only had like one big High School Musical moment where
Mm-hmm.
we were supposed to do this one activity for theater class where we had to put on like a mini little musical thing, and
Oh yeah.
I was tap dancing as Captain Hook from Peter Pan, and
Oh,
this one girl just runs into the auditorium. Never seen her before in my entire life.
oh my
And she
god.
said, heard there was a tap dancer here. I'm an Irish dancer. She gets on stage and says, let's go. And we had a
Wow.
dance off.
Oh my
And then
god.
I never saw her ever again.
Wow. Oh my god. Just broke into the school.
I swear it happened. There were witnesses.
Oh my god. That's crazy. Irish dancing is very competitive though.
Yeah. But it's like
um,
she wasn't Kyle from Luck of the Irish.
mm,
Let's just put it
of
that way.
course. Oh my god. Only OG Zillennial support group fans will understand that reference. But yeah, I remember I think I saw a few of the musicals our high school put on, but they weren't like this huge, social event, or like no one was like, you're a jock, you can't join the musical. And everybody's parents were chill. No parent was like, you have to live my dream, son.
I mean,
But
maybe there were.
yeah, you never know. I never really talked to much of the jocks, but I don't know. I do remember being a freshman in high school and seeing like the senior footballers, and they'd have like beards and things, and I'm like, these are grown ass men. I don't feel safe.
Well, for some
But and
reason
then
that
as I
was
got older, my peers became the footballers, and then I'm like, you still look like babies. None of you hit puberty the way that the people 4 years older than us did.
that
But
was a big thing for me. I think when I saw the film for the first time was Chad's armpit hair. For some reason that stands out so strongly to me.
yeah, scandalized. It is a thing where it's like you see teenagers and they look so old on like TV, and it usually is because they're like actually adults playing teenagers. I'm trying to remember their like big school scenes in the movie. I do remember that a lot of times they like color coded the characters where um Gabriella and Troy would be the only characters wearing blue, and then everybody else was wearing their school colors of red so that they like stand out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my god, it's so unique, it's so different. Like they're both wearing blue, meant to be together. But yeah, there wasn't ever really like a love triangle in High School Musical. I think Sharpay would like try to make stuff happen, and then
Mm-hmm.
Troy would just be like, I'm not gonna like tell you to leave me alone,
Well,
so
that
we
was
can
like
hang
high
out as
school. I
friends.
think there wasn't as much in High School Musical, but then there was in High School Musical 2. That was like the main
She was like
thing.
actively pursuing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe she had more time on her hands,
Yeah.
needed a project. But and I don't really know the premise of the third one, but I do sometimes get upset when like the girl is clearly very studious, very talented, and like trying to achieve these goals, and then the guy who like doesn't care, isn't really trying, but like magically really talented, like gets into a really good school, and I'm like, boy, you didn't try. What's your SAT score? Don't lie. Like
Yeah.
where does he end up, Troy Bolton?
UC Berkeley.
Like he couldn't get in. Like come on. Who knows like how those characters would have fared in college, but
Well, I
they
think
would
like they
definitely
would.
stop singing.
Can you imagine that you end up at UC Berkeley and you're just walking to class, and
Start
then there's
singing
just
about your
this random
dreams.
guy going, just snapping it out, just dancing it out, and like
Yeah.
every single time like class is about to end, he just throws all of his papers and starts
I
dancing.
always, dude, every single high school movie, or like end of school year movie that there has ever been, all the students run out, they throw their shit into the air, and they run out of the building. I've never run out of my school building before, but also,
There was a
like,
fire.
yeah, but also it's like, that's so rude. That's like, someone's gonna trip and fall over those papers. Also, teachers are everywhere. They're going to be like, what the fuck? Don't throw paper into the air. You're littering. And also, it's like, they give you school assignments like science and math, like they build upon each other. Like you need those notes and materials for the next
Yeah.
year.
And
The
I
only
think,
time I ever felt something close to that was when it was my last day of class as a senior, and then I was like, I guess I'll just throw my binders in the trash. And then I did, and then I felt empty inside. But I didn't throw it up in the air. It seems like such a freeing act, and I never got that experience.
but I think High
And
School
also, like, who uses
Musical,
paper anymore?
yeah. But I think High School Musical was like the villain origin story for the janitor. It was just like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, poor guys, man. I also feel like high school janitors, they're still like, they're always a character that like gets cast in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they say wise things, sometimes they like just roll their eyes at the characters. I don't think I ever met my high school janitor.
Did you ever have, like, I feel like everything has like a secret little meetup spot is in the janitor's closet. I don't think I
Oh my
knew where
god.
the janitor's
We didn't
closet
have
was.
janitor's closet. Also scary. And also it's
Yeah.
probably locked. But I remember our school cop.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't remember our school janitor.
I
And the
was
janitor is
pulled
probably way more
over one
valuable.
time
Yeah.
in the parking lot
By the cop
by the
or by the
cop.
janitor?
He pulled me over in the parking lot.
And what'd he say?
He was like, because I left in the middle of the day because I had like a dentist appointment. And he was like,
Oh.
where are you speeding off to?
There was a point like halfway through my senior year where they got really serious about kids leaving in the middle of the day. And it sucks because I like the last few months of my senior year, like everybody skips class all the time during that period. Nobody could do it. They would circle around constantly patrolling
Yeah.
the what's it called? The perimeter of our school campus.
In
Like in a golf cart,
hindsight,
and they'd keep people.
I feel like I could have outrun the golf cart. But I let him like
Yeah.
make me get out of my car in the pouring rain. But it's
Damn.
fine. There was also another
Yeah.
time where I was like leaving it wasn't with the cop, but it's another car thing where I was leaving Lit Mag, like staying after school
Oh,
for Lit Mag, and these kids
oh,
were
that's
like,
VT.
"Do you want to like race our cars?" And I
Dude.
said,
Oh my
"No, I
god.
don't
Who gets
have a car."
propositioned like that?
I don't know. I
Oh
was
my
like, "No,
god.
sorry, I don't have a car." As I'm stepping into my car, and I've never had confidence like that ever
Oh my
again.
god. I loved driving in high school. That was like my favorite part of high school was just like driving to and from high school.
I think I got your parking spot, like my.
Yeah, I also got a really good parking spot. That was really nice. It would suck in like the first weeks of school because no one respected parking spots because they didn't start ticketing until the second week. And so people would always park in my spot. And even after that, parents dropping off their kids would like idle in my spot
Yeah.
until the bell rang and then they'd leave. And then I'd have to honk at these people. I'm like, you have to fucking leave. I never respected authority in high school. I
I
never
would.
respected other kids' parents. I I hated the school administration. My family hated the school administration. They were like, you work for us. You're responsible for raising our community. You better do your fucking job correctly, and we're going to call you out when you don't.
Well, I think our administration was also like weird because we weren't
They
the
really were.
Wildcats, but we were the Cougars. And there was a
Yeah.
big thing. I don't know if it was when we were there or if it was like when my sister was there, but there was a big thing where our principal was a big hunter guy. And at one point, he shot and
Oh.
killed a cougar, and he was gonna stuff and bring it and put it in our
Uh,
lobby.
that's so violent. Dude, our principal was weird.
That's
But
the first time that I feel like we grew up in the South. Like, I feel like otherwise
yeah.
we're like from a pretty
Yeah.
northern area, but that's the first time where I was like, oh yeah, we're in the South.
Yeah, we're pretty like culturally mid-Atlantic, but
Mhm.
then there's always people who like grow up in the other parts of our state and then move to our area.
You're
and
censoring yourself.
and you know, they have that southern background and then they're like coming to like a more metropolitan area where there's more, you know, people who come from the north and stuff. But
Who don't
um
shoot cougars on the weekend.
yeah. But dude, it's so crazy. I also remember like teachers and parents like wearing you know, school t-shirts for their kids and they just said the word cougars. or just like and then they'd like wear these t-shirts like at the bus stop or whatever, and like other people would be like, are you advertising your relationship with younger men? And it's like, no, it's just, they just be like, it's just the school that my kid goes to. But I don't know, there was a lot of things wrong with the way our high school was ran, but I mean, there are worse scenarios out there. We did the best with what we had.
Did you ever hack the scoreboard and then also set off like
Dude,
a somewhat
you know what?
lethal science experiment?
I'm gonna spill some tea. But here's the tea on your class. You're the class right below me, but like above in the you were I was a senior, you were a junior. And when I was a senior, you're someone, y'all got fancy with the way you cheated on your tests, and there was a whole ring of crime lords passing around tests, selling answers, hacking into the grading systems. And then also, it was your year that 2 kids skipped school in the middle of the day and got into a terrible car accident, and the parents blamed the school for letting their kids leave. And so that's why halfway through my senior year, they cracked down on attendance and not letting people leave in the middle of the day, even when they were 18 years old, because of your year.
Why are you yelling at me?
Your peers were such
do it.
miscreants.
I didn't do it.
Obviously, you were not the source of the bad influence, but
it was also my
your
year.
year was very scandalous. I remember like having friends in your grade saying all this shit that was going down, and I'm like, my year is just literally just trying to get into college, minding our own business, and not like causing all this scandal. It was crazy. Well, it was very interesting though, so thanks for the entertainment. But
I don't know if like it was, I don't know if it might have been my junior year or it was my senior year. So let me know if you remember this. But it was also like our generation that led a revolution within the county, because on one snow day that should have been a snow day, they made us come into school, and everyone like got into car accidents. Like buses came late because they kept slipping.
I remember that. I must have been a junior, and so you were a sophomore.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember I was driving my friend Laura at the time. So like, and I wasn't confident in the snow, so I knew we were going to be late, but I got my mom to drive us, and then we were stuck in such bad traffic, and then we kept on getting these updates of like, oh, a bus just got sent to the hospital because it crashed, and like suddenly our school was trending. Oh my god.
Yeah,
and it was my senior year, it wasn't my junior year.
Yeah, no, because I know I was driving, so I must have been a junior. But yeah, because we started doing a thing
maybe
called
I wasn't driving, Laura.
Close blank 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 blank. And
I must have been driving.
Then like other people started tweeting it, and so it was like trending worldwide. So we got things that was
like people in England were like, what the fuck is going on in America? Shut down your fucking school.
People would be like, I'm from Norway, but I think they should close blank 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 blank.
Our school administration and like the higher ups were like really fucked up. They never made the right calls.
Yeah.
And then
and
then later in the year, an angel descended from above, and then he started canceling school and then letting us know in a timely manner. So.
And we would meme him, which was really great.
We made a lot of
memes.
I think he ran for like local office too, and then he lost.
Yeah, because everyone had gone to college that like knew him.
Yeah, I think I ended up getting some sort of like literary award later that year, and he like presented the award, and I was like, oh my god, celebrity.
Yeah, I met him once, and I don't think I looked good in the picture, and that was like a big mistake. But he still wishes me happy birthday every year on Facebook.
Yeah, but
on the fateful Tuesday of #close.
Yeah, blank, and blank, then blank, blank. I actually I found a video on YouTube the other day, or like a few months ago, about this guy like documenting that whole experience. I think he was a freshman at the time. And I must have been a senior. We do, and he like narrated it. It's a really good video. I'll have to find it and send it to you. But it was really iconic. Someone should write a musical about that experience, and then turn it into a movie musical, and then put on a musical based on that movie, and then make a TV show about a high school putting on that
Here
musical.
we go. Hashtag close blank 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 blank. The musical, the series.
The series, the movie.
Ooh.
But the movie, the musical, the series.
Yeah.
The mockumentary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I must have been a senior because I remember then later in the day being in my astronomy class, which I took senior year, and then seeing it trend on Twitter because I didn't have a Twitter account in high school. So my friend was like, "Did you hear?" And I was like, "No."
Well, I got a tweet in the Huffington Post, and then a bunch of other friends had it in like BuzzFeed. Like everyone was covering us, and not for a good reason. But then that made the rest of my like senior year super amazing because if there was like even a forecast of snow, they were like, let's just cancel.
Yeah, but it was so nice because they did cancel all the time after that because they knew that their asses were in trouble. Oh, yeah. But then halfway through this, hilarious anecdote that we're sharing, prime entertainment for this podcast. You're welcome, viewers.
For
listeners.
That one UK and now Irish follower.
I spent too much mental effort trying to censor our location. And then we were just like, oh yeah. But
I've been blank.
Should I bleep it out? But it got worldwide attention. Of course they know what school system we're from.
I don't think it was that big.
Are they going to research it? But the more we talk about it, the more they're going to be like, I got to find out where these fuckers went. And they're literally all our friends. But we're going to be famous one day. And we need to stay safe. But also, spoiler alert, none of us are anywhere near anything that could be near you. You'll never find us.
What does that mean?
So don't look for us.
None of us are anywhere near anything you could find.
Like, if they found out where we went to school, like, I don't live near that building. Mm-hmm. So, it's fine. We don't go to school there anymore, is what I'm saying. Oh, my God. Because also, fun little fact, 2021 is the anniversary of the year I started high school. Like, how ancient does that make me sound? Jesus Christ. It was such a good time. I see people all the time on TikTok romanticizing 2011 being in high school, and they have like footage that looks like old now of like high schoolers running around halls, and I'm like, that literally looks like my high school. Like, that was literally my high school experience. How are these Gen Zs romanticizing my high school experience? It was lame. Don't do that. Romanticize the 80s like you used to.
Did you ever go to like a football game or basketball game?
I went to 2.
Oh, really? Because it was very hyped up in High School Musical, and I don't think I went to anything.
It wasn't a big thing. Even for our school, I think it was hyped up. Like, those games were like a bigger deal than like other high schools. And I just like, I don't know. I went when I was a freshman, so I like didn't really know like enough kids to like make it fun to go see people. And then I might have gone to one my senior year, but by then all of my friends like weren't really into that stuff anyways. Mm-hmm. So it was cool to like see as a freshman and be like, oh my God, I'll like be a part of this culture one day, and then not become a part of that culture.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it like, it was disappointing to know that I would never rush the court or the field.
Yeah.
And
did we have a basketball team? I honestly couldn't tell you.
High School Musical. Do you think if they hadn't won, do you think they still would have done the dance? Would they have done a little penny dance?
Who knows, man? I read in your article that they had to film the ending dance sequence in like one take. They could only do it once because of all the confetti and stuff. And they like, the students needed the gym later.
Yeah.
But they nailed it, man. All those kids, so talented. That was a nice walk down memory lane with our high school experiences.
Yeah,
and also our experiences watching High School Musical. I feel like it really shaped us, whether we liked it or not, that whole franchise.
Yeah. And it changed our expectations of high school a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. No footballer fell in love with me, to the chagrin of his parents.
Yeah, I didn't work at a country club during the summer.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't live in New Mexico, Albuquerque. Albuquerque, New Mexico. But good memories, and hopefully I'm glad that teenagers these days still have the memory of that movie and their new memories of this musical movie TV show series to help shape their youth like we did. But yeah, and also we love a good love triangle in the media to follow along with. So stream Olivia Rodrigo's new single Deja Vu, new album coming out in April.
Is this sponsored?
It is
Does
sponsored.
she live in the UK? Is she one of our listeners?
She actually does. She Skypes into all of her, TV show sets.
That's movie magic for you.
Movie magic. Yep. All right. Well, it's been fun.
Yeah,
Thanks
we'll
for
probably
listening.
talk about High School Musical again because there's a lot there.
It's such a huge franchise. We might delve deeper into more specific topics, but yeah, it's a fun episode.
Woo!
Woo!
Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye.